Hello and welcome to my channel. In this tutorial I wanted to show you a stitch, a very easy stitch. 2 rows repeat. It goes really fast. This one might eat some yarn. So this is one of the sides and this is the other side. So you can choose to make a baby blanket, a tank top, a cardigan, a hat, a scarf, whatever you like to do. It's really nice, this one. But this one is going to eat some yarn. This sample I did with 3.0 millimeter crochet hook. You can do with thicker yarn. Yeah. Very easy. Okay, we're going to chain odd numbers. I have here, I think I have 17, if I'm not mistaken. 17 chains. We're going to skip the first chain. Gonna skip the first chain and into the second chain from the hook. We're gonna go in there and do a single crochet. I'm working now with 3.0 millimeter crochet hook. So this first row is gonna be single crochet in each chain. So move to the next chain, single crochet, and so on. Next chain, single crochet. I think this one looks nice with not so thick yarn, but if you like, you can try with thicker. And if you like how it looks, you can use a thicker yarn. But this one for a spring summer baby blanket or a hat for summer or spring, I think it's nice. This stitch. But pulling up loops, this stitch is gonna eat some yarn. So if you choose to do a baby blanket, I'll make sure that you have enough yarn. Okay, last chain, single crochet. We're gonna chain 2, turn your work, and into the first stitch right here, yarn over the hook. We're gonna go into the first stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, move to the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, move to the next stitch, pull up a loop. We have 7 loops. We're gonna pull the yarn to the first 6, not the last one. So yarn over and pull the yarn through the first 6 loops, yarn over and pull the yarn to the last 2, chain 1. And now yarn over the hook. We're gonna go first where we worked last, the last stitch. So we're gonna go in there, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, move to the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, move to the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull the yarn through the first 6 loops, 2, 4, 6, yarn over and pull the yarn to the last 2, chain 1. And we're gonna repeat like this until we finish this row. We're gonna go back to the last stitch that we worked, pull up a loop, move to the next stitch, pull up a loop, move to the next stitch, pull up a loop, then pull the yarn to the first 6 loops, last 2, chain 1. It's gonna look like this. So we're gonna repeat. We're gonna go to the last stitch that we worked, pull up a loop, move to the next stitch, pull up a loop, and so on. And each time you put the yarn over the hook. So you have 6 loops, 7 with the last one. So we're gonna pull the yarn to the first 6 loops, last 2, chain 1. We go back to the last stitch that we worked. Gonna pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, move to the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, move to the next stitch, pull up a loop, then pull the yarn through the first 6 loops, last 2, chain 1. You can pull the loops as high as you like. Yeah. Pull the yarn to the first 6, last 2, chain 1. So you're gonna be left with 3 stitches. Yeah, 1, 2, and the last one. We're going to repeat yarn over the hook, go back to the last stitch that we worked, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, move to the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, move to the next stitch, pull up a loop, pull the yarn through the first 6 loops, pull the yarn to the last 2, chain 1, and into the last stitch we're gonna do in there a double crochet. Chain 1, turn your work, and now we're gonna do the second row that we're gonna repeat. So this is one of the rows, and now the second one. So the first stitch is here. We're gonna go through the back loop, not the front one, and we're gonna do a single crochet. You have the chain 1, chain 1, the stitch, chain 1, the stitch. So we're gonna go through the back loop into the chain 1 that we chain there, back loop, single crochet. Then we have the stitch, also back loop, single crochet, the chain, 1 chain that we had there, back loop, single crochet, and so on. You're gonna do in through the stitch and the chain 1 through the back loop a single crochet, and it's gonna go really fast. Well, I will have to say, make sure that you don't lose 1 chain and you don't go through the back loop of the chain, because sometimes you might, it's very possible that you might miss a chain and you're gonna go straight to the stitch. And just to make sure, each time you do this row with a single crochet through the back loop, count the stitches and make sure that you have an even number. So now at the end here we have the 2 chain, at the end here. So we're gonna go on top of the second chain and we're gonna do a single crochet. So you start, you chain odd number and you end up with even number. So you should always have, when you do the single crochet row, you should always have a even number. Then you're gonna chain 2, turn your work, and now we're gonna repeat the row with pulling loops. So yarn over the hook, the first stitch is here. We're gonna go through the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, move to the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, move to the next stitch, pull up a loop. You have 2, 4, 6, 7 with the last one, 7 loops. Pull the yarn through the first 6, pull the yarn to the last 2, chain 1. And when you do this chain 1, make it a little bit, an idea, loose, because next row you're gonna go through the back loop. So if it's tight, the 1 chain, then it's gonna be difficult to go through. So I'm gonna repeat, yarn over the hook, you go back to the last stitch that we worked, this one, pull up a loop. You move to the next stitch, pull up a loop, next stitch, pull up a loop. Pull the yarn to the first 6 loops, last 2, chain 1, and so on. Like I said, you can pull these loops as high as you like, or medium, whatever. It's up to you. So this is the stitch. You go back to the last stitch that you worked through, next stitch, and next stitch. Yeah, this stitch is really nice to make a baby blanket for spring, I think. So we are kind of at the end. We're gonna go back to the last stitch that we worked through, pull up a loop, go to the next stitch, pull up a loop, next stitch, pull up a loop, pull the yarn through the first 6 loops, last 2, chain 1, and we have the last stitch in which we're gonna do a double crochet in there. You're gonna chain 1, turn your work, it's gonna look like this, in the first stitch here we're gonna go through the back loop, and you're gonna do a single crochet. The next one is the chain. You're gonna do a single crochet through the back loop, then the stitch, chain, stitch, and so on. Yeah, it's very easy to skip this the chain, to go through the back loop. So if you want to finish this row, you're gonna finish close your work with one row of single crochet in each one, chain and stitch through the back loop. And now at the end we have the last stitch, this one. We're gonna go through the back loop, yeah? And we have the chain 2 at the end, and we're gonna go on top of the second chain, and we're gonna do a single crochet. Then you're gonna chain 2, turn your work, and then yarn over the hook, the first stitch here, gonna pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, move to the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, next stitch, pull up a loop, and so on. So when you reach this end with this row, when you pull up loops and you don't have 3 stitches left, that means you missed one chain or a stitch to do the single crochet, yeah? So you're gonna have to rip apart and go back and redo. Make sure that you don't skip. So this is the stitch. It's really easy, goes really fast. It's really fun to do this. I think with a very thin yarn you might do a tank tap if you like. It's really nice, this one. And this is the other side. So these are the sides of the stitch when you work. You can put border if you like for a blanket. Well, I hope you like this stitch, and I hope you give it a try. Well, thank you for watching. Bye bye.